All right, let's talk about it. 25 years ago. Does it feel like it was yesterday, or does it feel like it was a lifetime ago?
Some mornings it feels like it was 100 years ago. Honestly, these years have flown by, and I think mostly because women's soccer has just been on the rise, and it was so anonymous when I was growing up, and there was no one to look to. And I think what's been so spectacular about this 99 team and their desire to really influence the space for the better is that we had no example. There was no team sports, no women's team sports that we could look to say, oh, here's how we can do this. And so, you know, we did a lot of things going in blind and just with good intentions. And I think the influence on empowerment and resiliency and this unity that we have has really spilled over, and we're really proud.
Brandi, I'm curious because I love to reflect too. Now that I feel like I'm way past it, what are the brightest moments for you throughout that tournament? Because I remember as a kid how inspired I was by your team and by your performance, and but obviously by your penalty kick. But when you look back, what are the moments that come to mind for you?
I think, Charlie, obviously the on-the-field things are very memorable. We all love the game so much, and we worked very hard in training to be the best so that we could go into those games with the physical strength and stamina to outlast the best teams like China and Germany, Brazil. But I think it was the fun and the joy and the love we had for each other that truly made this team special. I think if you asked the 20 of us now that will be together for the first time collectively since '99, you know, what do you remember? It will be the good times, the laughs, sitting and having breakfast, going shopping, spending our time together. And honestly, the love, the trust, the respect that we have for one another made the big tournaments, not comfortable, but manageable and enjoyable. And it's going to be fabulous to have us all back together.
Brandi, it's so cool you guys are going to be together for the first time. Enjoy that, right? Because those moments don't come around all that often. In 25 years, is there a moment where you were able to sit back and maybe something happened in women's sports and you said, you know what, like that was us. We made this happen, or we were a big part of making this happen?
You know, this team hasn't really had that kind of mentality, Tony, about like, hey, we did this. We feel that we were a part of this movement. We happened to come along collectively at a time when it was really prime for us to do something big, and we pushed the envelope. We were brave, and we pushed FIFA to allow the U.S. To allow the World Cup committee to put this tournament from coast to coast, north to south, and in the biggest stadiums ever. I mean, in comparison to '95 in Sweden, which stadiums were like 10,000 seats, filling the Rose Bowl was unheard of. And so I think just that diligence and the intention and the love and the joy of the game, we do see that cropping up, and we see that propagating through communities across this country. And we do feel good about it. But honestly, in our heads, we're not sitting there going, we did that. That's not really what this team is about.
Brandi, just going back to '99, obviously you're the headlining name. Are there any other teammates that you felt didn't really get the recognition that they deserved for how good a player they were?
Each and every one of them, honestly. What was so great about this team is that every single player could have been the starter, could have been the difference maker. And that's how we were all empowered to go out there and make a difference, whether you played 90 minutes or you played 5 minutes, you played in the overtime, or you took a penalty kick. Everybody mattered. Everybody was critical to the outcome. And so, the likes of Tiffany Milbritt and Tiffany Roberts, Tisha Venturini, Shannon McMillan, Kate Sobrero, Tracy Noonan, Saskia Weber, Lori Fair. The names go on and on. They were all tremendous. They were phenomenal people first, and pretty damn good soccer players. And together, their greatness made our team unbeatable.
Well, that's for damn sure. I mean, you inspired the whole country. For me, if you're looking at this current group, Brandi, what are the positives? What are the highlights for you? And if you were able to go back in time and take that 99 team, mint condition, teleport them to now.
Don't make me do this, Joe.
How does that game play out?
I think you know the answer to that.
I do.
But this team is very exciting. I think this is going to be a really exciting tournament. The Olympics obviously are phenomenal. To be with the best athletes in the world in every sport together in one place is such a fortunate opportunity for every athlete. I remember our first in 1996. The Olympics had been around 100 years, and it was the first time women's soccer got to participate. And the idea of wearing red, white, and blue and hearing your national anthem at the end when you win a gold medal, it was just, I mean, it will never leave me. And I hope that for this team. I know that Emma Hayes has the knowledge and the demeanor to be able to guide this team through the group stage, to really focus on the details that are necessary to earn the points necessary to move on, and then how to manage a game as it begins, it gets to the middle, it's flowing, what's happening, and she'll make the right decisions for the team in the right moments. So I think it's very exciting. You have players like a Trinity Rodman right now, Mallory Swanson, who they're both playing phenomenally in the NWSL. And let's hope that that continues in this international space as we watch them in Paris.
You know, Brandi, you mentioned a couple names. Who are maybe some of the other players in this group that excite you that Emma Hayes has to work with here? It's a mix of some veterans and some really talented young players. Well,
again, I think you have to, some of that veteran leadership, just as an example, Crystal Dunn will do that. She also brings the fun and the joy of the game. She's been around for a good amount of time. Again, I think we've been watching Copa America. We've been watching the Euros. We've fallen in love with soccer again, and we're just waiting for the Olympics to start. This team has a lot of talent, and I'm actually really excited to see what the lineup is, and I'm going to see if I can get her to tell me ahead of time because I'm just so interested. I think the midfield will be the most interesting. I'm not so sure that that's been solidified. And so that's the question mark. Defending in this tournament is going to be key. Keeping the ball away from the box. I feel that that's not been our strong suit lately. And scoring goals, as we know, is the hardest thing to do. So all of the lines in our team really have a challenge in front of them. Our group is very difficult. Zambia, Australia, and Germany, is that right? And so it's going to be a battle, and we have to come out and be our best. So it's not going to be about one player. This is a small roster, and all 18 players are going to have to contribute in a way that's going to help the team be successful.
Brandi, I got to ask you about the big news that we've been discussing this morning, and obviously that is that Gregg Berhalter is out as the head coach of the U.S. men's national team. Just curious to kind of get your reaction. Do you think that this was the right move for U.S. soccer?
Gosh, I'm not privy to all the really important conversations. I think as a fan, we all have our opinions about who should be leading and who's responsible. Everybody has a contribution to make. The players, obviously, because they do the actions on the field. The coach, because they put together the plan. The staff, because they execute that every day in training and off the field. I think this is such a big job. And I would say that we did not live up to the expectations. I've been listening to the commentary. it's not easy. And I think if we take this with like, hey, we should be getting through these things, like no problem, I think that's not really giving respect to the other teams and to how difficult it is. Should we? Have we spent a lot of resources? Yes, we have. Should we be maybe a little bit more dynamic and more powerful than some of these teams? Probably. I think this tenure of Gregg Berhalter has run its course, and something new would be very good, But again, I don't think it begins and ends with Gregg Berhalter. I think the players also bear the burden of responsibility of the actions that they have in the matches. And unfortunately for the red card, which I think really turned the tournament on its head, the tournament looked completely different.
Brandi, well said. I couldn't agree more with you.
Well said. Some fantastic wise words there, Brandi.
Literally. But you got the chance to play a World Cup on home soil, just like our man here, Tony Miola. How important is it that U.S. Soccer gets this right because of what can possibly happen after this World Cup, the influence and the impact of a successful World Cup for the U.S. men?
Yeah, honestly, I was there in '94. I watched the World Cup. I mean, I'm such a soccer fan, and I'm a believer in the men's national team, and I defend them emphatically because, they have a higher mountain to climb than most, if not the rest of the world, because soccer here in America was not the primary sport and has been doing a great job to build up young players and to give them a place to play. And so we have a bigger, different challenge, but it is absolutely critical that we get it right. And we know that the millions of kids who play soccer in America are waiting to see this World Cup, and they're hoping that the U.S. will be the team that they get to cheer for. And so, yeah, I don't envy my former teammate, Cindy Parlow-Cone, and the committee, Matt Crocker, who will have to decide and find the right person to take this job. But you got my number if you need it.
I love it. Make the pitch. All right, Brandi, before we let you go, something really cool that Nike's doing. They're reissuing the kits that you guys wore in '99. What is that going to feel like to see some of the young kids rocking the kits that you guys wore on that incredible run that you guys went on in the World Cup?
Oh, this is phenomenal. And I'll tell you, the 99 jerseys are looking a little bit old, so this is good. They're going to get replacements. They've been well worn for 25 years, which is pretty remarkable. And of course, a lot of gratitude to Nike for the vision of putting out this jersey again. We've been a fortunate group of women who came together at the right time, in the right space, with the right mentality, with the best intentions. And that summer of '99 was phenomenal. Not just how it ended, but really the process and the journey that it took to get there. And that we invited everybody to come and join. And that's what I see in the future for this U.S. women's national team, that they're inviting people to see a new national team and this national team. And this will belong to them in a way that '99 belonged to us. So I want to send out the best to the girls. I want them to go out there and play with their hearts, be their unique selves, to work for each other and to love each other, and to bring home this gold, because they can do it.
I love it. I have goosebumps. Brandi Chastain, enjoy every moment that's coming your way on Saturday. It is such a cool celebration, and you are so deserving. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
I appreciate that, and everybody go out and get your 99ers gear.
Heck yeah.
100%.
Sign me up. Sign me up.